In this video, you will learn how to identify prominent features in a given face. You will learn how to spot what is unique with their face. And you're going to learn how to look for a relationship that exists between the eyes and the nose. And I will show you the different shapes that you see in caricature faces. On Daryl, what I think are the most obvious features to exaggerate are his nose, those big nostrils, his eyes, they're nice thin slits, the shape of his face, and the big ears. The messy hair and everything else are nice accents to make it look more like him, but they're not the prominent features. All right, so let's just get into it. Quickly, I'm just gonna lasso tool my old sketch and bring it into a new canvas and get it ready for a quick demonstration of what I mean by these different aspects of his eyes and shape of his face and all of that. I'm showing just a quick example in red pencil that this is the circles that go around his eyes. That's what I see. I see circles that go around his eyes right here, okay? So that's one of the main shapes that I see are prominent in this Daryl caricature. I'm going to illustrate also what I meant by the relationship from the eyes and the nose. Okay, so if I was to notice when I look at Daryl that his eyes are far apart, that means no matter what I see, if that's the most prominent feature that I see, then that means I'm going to pull his nose up closer to his eyes. But if I think that his eyes are farther or are closer together, then his nose will go down. His nose will fall down. I'm going to show a quick illustration of that. So here we are, just really quickly putting his eyes farther apart. I'm just lasso tooling and just bringing those red eyes farther apart. I'm going to draw real quick. The nose goes up higher. It's like they're on almost like a rubber band effect or something. Like if one goes out, the other comes up. If the two eyes go back in, then the nose falls down. It drops. And as I use the lasso tool, it is kind of funny to put his eyes so close together, especially with his nose way up high like that. I'm going to lasso tool around the nose here, and I'm just going to include the mouth so that it makes more sense and bring that down just to show you. So if you go closer with the eyes, you pull the nose down. So to demonstrate, here's a quick little photo of myself. So here's me drawing myself, and I'm adjusting and drawing my eyes closer together here. And then, of course, just drawing the face shape, which is vital to the caricature. Notice that I put my nose down farther because my eyes are closer together. And another thing that I'm going to demonstrate in a minute here is that I've also put my eyes higher up on my forehead. So in other words, I have a smaller forehead and a much bigger face. Okay, now just watch as I sketch. I'm going to use the video from Procreate, so you're not going to see me actually sketching on the iPad. That's okay, but I want you just to follow along now as I go through the thinking process of caricaturing. So I'm just going to put a circle in here for his face, and I'm going to create with Daryl a longer face. And then next to the longer face, I want to draw the average face. On the average face, the eyes come straight in the middle. The nose comes from halfway between where the eyes are and the chin. And then the ears go in that space, and the mouth follows right here. Now, as you watch me on the right side draw Daryl's face and compare it to the average face to the left, you'll notice that the nose, like I showed you, is shorter than the average face. The eyes are farther apart than the average face. And in the mouth, I still have it about 1/3 the way from the bottom of the nose to the chin, but I also show a lot more chin than the average face. Now, I hope you don't mind the high speed, but it's just kind of interesting to follow and look at. But this is just me using an ink pen. I believe I'm using the black color pencil. Yeah, I'm using a black color pencil over my blue color pencil. This is just a really fun process to do, and this is the magic that I'm talking about. So when the last video I had, I talked about the magic of art, and for me, the magic of art is being able to produce a caricature. I mean, that's really fun for me. Just a quick story on caricaturing, and I'm going to do a lot more videos on this, but just a quick story on caricaturing. When I was going through a little bit more of one of my more difficult times in life, I was at a rehab, and of course, going through rehabilitation, that's not a very fun experience for yourself or for anybody. But in order to keep myself from being bored, started doing little cartoons or caricatures of the different therapists that were there at the facility. Now, give a little backstory to this. We had a big family center, I guess you could call it. There was just a big place for movies, and there's like 10 or 12 couches and a pool table and a ping pong table and just a recreation room, I guess you could call it. Just a place where we could go and settle down for the night and go over our notes. Well, I was going over my notes one day, and in my journal, or in my notebook, was a bunch of caricatures of the different therapists. And I found them to be pretty funny to me, obviously, but I also found that as my notes got passed around the facility, you'd see these little pockets of laughter just erupt, like little fireworks in the distance or explosions in the distance. Just as the notebook went from one group to the next, they'd page through it. It was a setup. It was ha ha ha, oh ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha, and the laughter got worse or better and better. And then the very end was actually one that I did of our therapist, who was like really small. I wish I could find it, but he looked like Yoda, so I drew him with a Yoda body, and then I drew him underneath the chalkboard, pointing up and up to the chalkboard. And to me, that was funny, but it was funny to everybody else. And you'd see that they'd have a crescendo of laughter at the very end. And that's just a small example, but that's a very strong example for me of how caricatures are, how caricatures can serve a magical purpose in our lives. So I think that can exist with anything, that whatever you find to be fun to draw, or whatever you find to be magical, whatever it is that you do that brings you that places you into a different world, right? That's what I think is most important. And that's why I like other type of comic and different type of cartooning and comic art as well. So, all right, I'm going to go back to this video here. Here I am just coloring, obviously. I chose a flesh color, and I'm penciling that in with a flesh color pencil. And when I say flesh color pencil, obviously I mean that on the program Procreate, I go up to the color dropper or the color picker, and I pick a flesh tone, and then I color that with it. I only used, I think, 3 colors in this painting because I didn't want to go too elaborate. I specifically drew this, Daryl, just for the purpose of teaching caricature, and just for the purpose of teaching the few things it is that I actually teach in this video, which are how to look at the head shape, how the head shape is, it's either long or it's fat or it's squished or it's it's a triangular shape, it's an upside down triangular shape, it's a diamond shape, it's a heart shape. I mean, there's different faces that we have. Daryl's is more of an angular, long, rectangular shape, and then I put his eyes up higher, which makes his forehead smaller and his face bigger. I'm going to do other videos where I expand on what I mean by that, but just understand that these things that I'm teaching in this video are specific to, they're the main things I look for. I look for the relationship of the eyes that I talked about, and the head shape, and then I look for a few other things that I mentioned in here. All of the other stuff, the rendering of the hair and the coloring of the skin, and putting grays in his chin like I'm doing right now, all that stuff is just fun. That's just fun stuff. And I could do a much more exaggerated version of Daryl, but I just chose to do a very basic one so I could show you guys something fun something that I consider to be fun. So that's my quick little video on caricaturing. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, I am just learning how to do this, and I would love to teach more about caricaturing and cartooning and all the different things that I've done in this video. So there's a plethora, fun word, of things to learn. So if there's anything that you want to learn, please drop it down in the comments. And you know, this is a YouTube channel, so if you don't mind giving me that like, that would be great. I'm just starting up, and hopefully my videos will get better in the future. All right, thank you, and see you next time.